Am I still audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, thanks for letting me know that. Okay, welcome to
So
this
is there any,
webinar. Sorry?
yeah, is there any possibility that after this session, if we need this recorded session, can we get?
Yes, kind of. These videos are already available on my YouTube channel, Sibish Passion. And apart from that, you will be given the entire webinar video link maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow. I will have to
Yes,
contact with Trivandrum chapter lead for that.
okay, fine. Fine, thanks a lot. Okay.
You're welcome. Okay, let's start then. Very warm welcome to this webinar, Bing Speech API and Text Translator API. Before we start doing this webinar, I would like to say my sincere thanks to C Sharp Corner. They are the one who is organizing everything for the community, and they really need a huge round of applause. So I just want to give this thanks to them. Okay, here is me. I'm Sibish Venu. I'm a writer by passion and engineer by profession. This entire source code can be found at my GitHub profile, which is actually Sibish Venu. You can directly go ahead and you can search for this particular repository. Excuse me. So here is our agenda. I would like to say something about the community, why it is important, how exactly it is important in our technical life. I'll be sharing some words about that. Then we will be moving to Azure Speech API and then a Translation API. At the end of this webinar, we will be having a Node.js application which does both of this Azure Speech API and Translation API. So this is our agenda. Okay, before we jump into the code and all the technical scenarios, I would like to say something about the community. If it is possible, can anyone please let me know what exactly the community, what is, what is that you're thinking about the community? Okay, cool. Okay, if you're asking me, community is something that is being driven by a lot of people. It can be multiple people, 10 or 20 or bigger number as well. So the biggest advantage of community is actually all the community members. It can be a presenter, it can be a speaker, or it can be a just an organizer or anyone. They're actually spending time for the community without expecting anything, right? They are not expecting anything. And there is a saying, actually, there is a saying like we should plant the trees under which shades we are not expecting to sit. Have you got that? Um, Here is why I would like to say that one more time. We should always plant trees whose shade we do not expect to sit. So in each community members, right, they are not expecting anything. So whatever they are spending is actually their time for other people. That's really an amazing thing to do. In our day-to-day life, we have around 86,400 seconds, right? And no people can get time for you. Actually, no one can buy time, right? So time is very important in our day-to-day life. And the community has two parts actually. One is learning and one is sharing. So learning is the first part. So being a community member or being a technical member, you should always learn what the current trend is. At least you cannot learn everything, but at least you should try. You should be able to explain what about that technology and how exactly that is going to help your career. So that is the first part actually, learning. So one according to a lot of one who stops learning is old actually. So no one do not want to hear that they are old, right? So we are all are enthusiastic people, right? So no one want to hear that. So Please do not stop learning. Keep continue whatever you are doing. Keep learning. So here comes the next part. So once you learn everything, now it is time to give back to the community from where you have learned everything. Community, right? It can be an article, it can be a blog, it can be a video, it can be a event. So you have learned all of this information from the community. So now you have learned everything. Now it is time to give on back to the community. So here comes the next part: sharing. Um, while sharing, you wouldn't exactly know how much members in our technical groups are getting inspired by your talk or article, by reading your article, blog post, or anything. If anyone is getting inspired by you, that is an amazing thing to do. You cannot compare anything with that. Actually, when you are getting a feedback from your reader or your follower or someone else, that really inspires a lot. So just go for it and try to do that. Remember this line: your passion is for yours and your purpose is for others. I really like this sentence, so I just wanted to share that. So this is all about the community which I have in my mind. So if you have any more concern with this community, or you would like to talk something about the community, you're always welcome. Please feel free to ping me. Okay, now let's start coding. Okay, as I said, we are going to we in this agenda we have two parts, right? One is Bing Speech API and one is Text Translator API. So the first thing we are going to do is actually we are going to create a Bing Speech API in our Azure portal. So you will have to go to portal.azure.com. If you don't have any Azure subscription, I strongly recommend you to go and register for Visual Studio subscription, where you can get some amount of currency. It can be dollar or INR, which is actually enough for you to get started with Azure. So now I'm just logging into my Azure portal, and I will just narrate you to see how exactly we can create Bing Speech API. In while the session is being recorded, if you have any concerns or questions, please ask me. Please unmute yourself and ask me. Once you are logged into your portal, you will have to click on create a resource. You will have to search for Bing Speech API. Here we go. Click on that. You can always read this text, but I have already read that. So while creating your API, you can directly go ahead and read that. So I'm gonna go and click create button now. So here it is. So it will be asking for the name, subscription, the pricing tier, and resource group and resource group locations. So you will have to give each parameters one by one. Let's give one my speech API. Good. I'm going to select my subscription as Visual Studio Enterprise and the pricing tier. I have already created my free tier Azure Bing Speech API, so that I wouldn't be able to create a new one. Let's say let's select the second one. You can either create a new resource group or use existing one. So I'm going to go and select the existing one, which is actually cognitive service. And you can always check this box, which will actually pin this particular resource to your dashboard. As I said earlier, I have already created this Bing Speech API, so I will just close this for now. But for your information, this is how you need to create the Bing Speech API in Azure portal. So now I will close everything. So this is my my Bing Speech API, which I have created maybe 2 days back, I believe. So once you are inside that over resource, you need to click on overview. Here we have two things to check. One is this endpoint. This is actually an auth endpoint, and the keys. So we will be using these two keys in our application for calling this Bing Speech API from our Node.js application. So our Bing Speech API in Azure portal is being done. Now all we have to do is just write some code. So I'm inside this folder. I will just directly open this folder in Visual Studio Code, which is actually my favorite editor now. Let's just close this. In the terminal, I will just create one more folder. I will go into that folder. Now what I will do is I will just run npm init with parameter yes, which will actually create a package.json file with default parameters in it, default values in it, I could say that. So if you check here, so the package.json file has been created for us, right? Now, one second. Okay, now what we have to do is, as I said, we'll be creating a Node.js application. So, and that too, I will be writing my codes in TypeScript. So I will have to add some dependencies and dev dependencies as well. So what I will do is I have written the code already. So I will just copy and paste the code in the package.json for making the time useful. So here is my dependencies request, and this request is definitely needed for calling this to our Bing Speech API from our Node.js application, and add a few dev dependencies as well. So types for nodes, types for request, and TS node. As I said, I'll be writing the code in TypeScript. So TypeScript and TS lint. Once it is done, what you have to do? You have to do npm install, right? This npm install will create a folder which is known as node underscore modules, which will be having all of our dependencies in local, so that our node.js application will be running successfully. It will also create a package -log.json file which will hold the versioning of your dependencies. So whenever you are checking your code to GitHub or any repositories, it is mandatory that you should check in your package.json and package-log.json. So let's just wait till it get finished. Normally it wouldn't take much time. It totally depends on uh, how exactly your internet speed is. Excuse me. Now all of our packages are being added to our node modules. We are good to write some codes now. In Node.js application, the codes which I'm going to write is in src folder. So I will just go ahead and create an src folder now. Inside that src folder, I will create a new file called index.ts. So index.ts is our main page, main file which is being which will be calling very soon. So in we as we have already created our Bing Speech API, we have some keys to store, right? So I will directly go ahead and create a new file called config.ts. This is where we are going to store our keys information. And Bing Speech API work with videos and audio files, and that audio file is being converted to text, and text is being converted to audio. So anyway, we are going to work with some file. So what I will do is I will just directly create a helper file, which is helper dot file dot gs. Okay, now we have these three files in the config.ts. What I will do is I will just go to my Word document. I'll just copy this. I'll paste this. This is nothing but this is just a variable which is exporting from this side, and it is a JSON. Here is the endpoint which we are actually calling to the Bing Speech API. You don't need to worry about the URLs and all. This every code has been um, uploaded to the GitHub. I see some people are. Uh, is there any problem with my voice?
No, no,
No,
it's
no.
it's very
It's
clear.
okay. Your voice is good.
Okay, thank you. Excuse me. So these links and every code is already uploaded in GitHub. So you can directly go ahead and see this code. So you don't need to worry about this. All we have to do now is actually we need to go to our Azure portal and get some keys. So I will just go to my portal and I will click on show access keys.
I have one question.
Sure.
Uh, you have passed the endpoint as a URL. So this URL is fixed, or how can we get this URL?
Yeah, this URL is being fixed actually. If you check the network tab for the browser console, right, you can see that. And this is already documented in Microsoft document, so you can see that as well. Or you can get this URL from the GitHub repository.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you. Okay, now I need to copy this key one, and I will paste it here, and key two as well. So if by chance if key one is not working for you, you can directly use the key two. That is why they have given a key two keys actually. Now what we have to do is we'll have to write some helper function which will actually work with the files. So I will just directly go with my Word document here. I will just copy this code. If you're going to write each line of code, right, it wouldn't be enough for 1 hour actually. That is why I have created a Word document. I am just pasting everything from there. So this helper function, what it will do is it has an fs module and a buffer. What it will do is it will just take a path of that particular file, and that file content will be transferred to a buffer, and this function will return that buffer. That's it. Now what we have to do is we have everything here. Now the only thing left for is we will have to import these dependencies in our index.ts. Once that is done, we can just check whether it is working or not. So config dot speech dot auth endpoint. So if everything is going well, we will be able to see this auth point URL in our console.log. Before we do that, there are high chances of getting some errors, right, in our day-to-day life in our development. So it is absolutely mandatory that we should be able to debug our application. So for that, in Visual Studio Code, we will have to create a new folder which is .vs code, and inside that we'll be creating a launch.json file. So here in this lawn.json file, we'll be adding a lot of configuration to make our application be debug. So I will just go to my Word document. I'll copy this code. No worries, I will explain this codes. So here is our configuration. As we are working with the Node, application type is Node, and the requests can be to launch and attach. If you just uncomment this args and runtime args, you would be able to see two type, attach and launch. This args and runtime args is applicable only for launch, but I can show you a demo. If you select attach, and if you select uncomment this, you can see property args is not allowed. So but if you change to launch, these arguments are valid. So here is my argument, which is actually nothing but our home file, index.ts, and in the runtime args I am just transferring all of my code using ts node. So cw, it's a working workspace folder, nothing much. Okay, I will just save this, and I will just put a debugger over here, and I will just press F5. Let's see how this application is going to work. Okay, it seems like there is some errors in Visual Studio Code. I will have to close this and open it again. Now if you go inside your index.ts file, press F5. You are getting a debugger here, right? So inside the variables you can see config1. Inside that config, speech, Bing speech, and auth endpoint. So if you just run your application further, you can see the expected output in the debug console. So our application is working fine. All we have to do is just write some more code. So what I will do is I will just delete this particular line of code, and I will create one function which will actually convert our text to speech. So here it is. So we are going to request a post, right? Post request we are going to do to the Azure Bing Speech API. So whenever we are doing a post request, it is mandatory that we need to give some authentication mechanism, right? Here in this Azure Bing Speech API, we are using OCP APIM subscription key mechanism, so that we will be passing our key to this header value, and this header value will be using for issuing a token. So here is that call. Once the request option is been ready, we'll be using this request for creating the issue token. Once that token is ready, we'll be creating another request with this payload. If you see the payload, you can see we are adding text here. Whatever the text we are giving, right, that text is being added to the payload. So this payload is being given in our next request. In this request option, we are adding that headers with the access token we are getting, and with the payload as a body parameter. So once that is ready, we will be requesting this call, and we'll be piping with a create write stream so that this output.mp3 file will be saved to our src folder. If everything is working fine, this function will be working. So what we have to do is we have to just call this function with some text. So for getting some text. What I will do is I'll just go to my website. I will just go down. I'll just copy this particular lines and I'll paste it here. So now I'm going to run F5. I'm going to press F5 so that we can see the output. Wow. Before running this particular function, output.mp3 file wasn't available in this SRC folder, but now it is. So I will just reveal this particular file in Windows Explorer and I will play it for you for the content. Before that, if you could just read this line, I will just read it for you. Sibish Passion is a non-profit organization which is created for sharing knowledge and widen our thoughts. You are welcome to be a part of it. So that is the exact content which is going to be played in this output.mp3 file. I'll just play it for you. Sabish Passion is a non-profit. You heard it right. This is the same content what we have copied from my website, right? So it is working fine. Now what we need to do? So now we have just convert our text to an audio file, right? Now what I will do is actually I will just comment out this thing. I will just copy another function which will actually convert an audio file to text. Here in this speech to text, it will accept a file name. Someone is saying anything? Okay. So in this speech to text function, what we will do is it will just accept a file name, and that file is being converted to a buffer. Before that, before converting it to a buffer, we'll be adding a header with OCP APIM subscription key. We'll be providing our key here, and we'll be setting some header values here like content type, transfer encoding, and codec and sample rate and all. So once that header is ready, what we will do is in the body parameter, we'll be passing uh, a buffer, which if you go inside this read file, what it will do is it will just accept the path and that particular file is being converted to a buffer. So this buffer is being transferred to Azure Bing Speech API so that it can be converted back to a text. So what we have to do is we will have to call this function now. I could say your passion is for yours, your purpose is for others. Okay, now if everything goes fine, what we will do, uh, sorry, my mistake actually. So here what we have to pass is actually this, just the file name. What I will do, me.wave. I will just pass a file called me.wave. But before we do that, I will have to copy me.wave file from I have just placed me.wave file inside my SRC folder. For your information, I will just play that audio file. So let's hear it out. Hi, I'm Amy. I'm not going to download it, Amy, sorry. So here it is. We have got amy.wave file in our src folder. Now what we have to do is we have to just call this function, right? So now if I just press F5, if everything goes fine, we'll be having a debug console value with the content what is been transferred from the Azure portal. Cool. This is the output which has been sent from the Azure portal. It says recognition status as success, and the confidence level is very high. It's good actually. And the content is, hi, I am Amy, one of the best available high quality text to speech voice. Select download now to install my voice. So this is what we heard from that audio file. Right now we have just converted our speech, I mean audio to text and text to audio. That is how Bing Speech API works in Azure portal, right? So this is not the limited technology. Actually what you can do is you can create an application, maybe in Angular, and from that Angular you can call this Node.js API. So from this Node.js API you can call that Azure, so that user can interact with this with your application. For the demo purpose I'm just using Node.js, but it is not a limited technology, so you can do anything you want or you wish with this Azure Bing Speech API. There are a lot of demos available in internet, and there are a lot of documents available in Microsoft server itself. Please go with that and read those informations, and try to build something new. It's completely dependent on your ideas, right? For now our first part is done. Now the next thing is actually text translation API is actually convert your text from one language to other language. So in this demo what I will do is I will just convert an English sentence to a German language. So let's go ahead and see the demo, right? Okay, now again you will have to go to your portal.azure.com. I will just close these tabs. You will have to click on create a resource and type for text translator. Here we go. So once you get that, you need to click on that, and these informations are already available, and you can see what all the languages are supported. And as I'm going to give you a demo for only one language, so I don't want to go there and I mean spend some time with that. So once you read everything, you will have to click on the create button. So once you create a create button, it will ask for some information like a name, subscription, pricing tier, resource group, and resource group location. So let's go ahead and create that. Again, I will just select subscription as Visual Studio Enterprise and pricing tier. Again, since I have already used my free tier 1, I wouldn't be able to use that one again. So let's select this one, and you can either create a new resource group or the existing one. Once you click on this checkbox and click on this create button, it will actually create the resource for you and make it available in your dashboard. So I have already created one. I will just directly go there and see that. Now you are in my dashboard, and this is my translator API. I will just click on that. Like we did for a Bing Speech API, it has overview tab, and it has an endpoint, and it has two keys as well. So what I will do is I will just I'm going to copy this endpoint and other keys informations as well. Before that, I will just create one more config section in my config.ts file. So I will just go to my config.ts and I will just paste it here. Here again, the auth point is here, endpoint is here, and if you see, the keys are similar to F and 87, right? Let me show that. If you just click on the show access keys, 2F and 87, so both are same. So I don't want to copy and paste it again. So our Translator API is ready in our Azure portal. Now what we have to do is we have to create a code which actually calls this API. For that, what I will do, I will just copy this function which will help me to translate my text to any other language. I will just go here, go up, and I will come in this and I will paste it. As you can see, we are getting a request option from a function get request option. So we are going to write that function now. So I will just copy this and paste it here. Now, uh, this translate function is having is with the signature of the translate function is actually 3 parameter text from to. This text is something that we need to convert, and from is something that from which language we need to convert, and to is something like to which language we are going to convert our string. So once we get the get request option is nothing but a header with OCP API and subscription key with the key information whatever we have got from the Azure portal. So once that is ready, we are going to create a JSON file, a JSON object params from to text, and this params is being converted to query string. That's where the importance of query string import statement comes into picture. So what I will do is I will just copy this import statement. I paste it here. So this query string.stringify will convert our JSON object to a string query string format. So and we will be calling our translate endpoint here. So once we get this request, it will console our output in our debug console window. What I will do is I will just call this function and let's check it out. So as I said earlier, I'm going to convert my text to German language, right? So what I'm going to write is actually what I could write. I'm going to write I am Sibish Venu. So in German, I is actually ich. In Germany, German language is actually pronounced as ich, not ich. So am is translated to bin. So ich bin Sibish Venu. That is actually equal to I am Sibish Venu. So let's try it out. Million US DE. So now what we have to do, we just need to press F5. So function F5. So if everything goes fine, we are going to get the response as if bin Sibish Venu. Let's see that. Here is our output. It has been serialized from schemas.microsoft.com, and the output here is actually if bin Sibish Venu. There is no limit that you can convert this string to any language. There are a lot of languages are already available. You need to go and find them, and you can translate to any language. All you have to do is you have to pass that language code appropriately, and you can even find out the gaps in the sentence and find out the full stop in each sentence, and you can manually format it, and you have a lot of options too. But those options are 1 hour is not enough for showing that options actually, so that I couldn't take that, but I can leave that to you. You can see some videos, or you can see blogs, you can see the articles, and you can try out things. And if you are stuck with anything, I'm just a search away. You can directly search my name in Google, or you have my contact everywhere. You can directly call me, and you can if there is anything that I can help you with, I would be more than happy to help. So this is so let's go back to our agenda. So we have done with Azure Speech API and Translation API. As I said earlier, the codes are available in Sibish Venu GitHub, my GitHub profile. Actually, Sibish Venu /Sibish github.com/sibishvenu, and these entire videos are already I have already uploaded in my YouTube channel, which is actually sibishpassion.com. Let me show you that. So these two videos are already available in my channel. So if you are stuck with anything, you can directly go ahead and see this two videos and find out. Even after seeing that video, if you are not unable to fix anything, just ping me. I'll be able to help you. And one more thing I wanted to show you here is this is not the end, as I said. Your next step is actually you can there is another API which is actually called speaker recognition. I'm not going to create that now because but that's worth to show actually. So I will just show that. What this will do is actually when it has a lot of steps actually. What you need to create a profile with your audio information, like more than 30 seconds video audio you need to create and you need to upload, and you need to create a speaker profile, and with that profile you can identify the user who are talking, and you can identify the admin people and all. So for that purpose you can use this speaker recognition API. So I'll most probably I'll be coming with another webinar with speaker recognition, but that's not 1 hour. It's not is within 1 hour I cannot cover this thing actually. So that I couldn't choose this as part of this webinar, but definitely I'll be coming with another webinar with this speaker recognition. So this is it actually. Do you have any questions?
I have one question.
Yeah.
For regarding the translate the text to in another language.
Buddy, can you please raise your voice? It's not that audible.
If now I'm audible?
Yeah.
It's audible?
Yeah.
Yes, I have. Yes, yes. Well, I have a question for translate. If I don't know text language in which is right, but I want to change it in English, so how can we do it? Because there is the in your function is mandatory to give the from or to, but I don't know. But I have a one text in writing in different languages, but I want to convert in English or any other language. Then how can we do?
So what you are asking is actually without giving this parameter, how can you convert it, right?
Yes, I want. Yes, I want. Don't want to give from language.
Yeah, you don't need to give
From
that. You
from
can
parent.
yeah, you can directly copy this and you can directly paste it here. That's it. You don't need to pass it anymore.
But I have a text. You write down the text. I am CV's Venu, but I don't know in which language is written here, and like is Chinese or any other languages. But I want to know how can we know
Which
how
language user is getting
how to
giving the
how
input?
to yes, in which text is writing in which language, but I want to convert this language to my English language. So how can we do it without giving any from parameter in prum or also in translate parameter?
I think I got your question. Have been tried that, but let me just give it a try here itself. 1 second. So
Yes, yes.
what you are trying to achieve here is actually you are not going to give the from, and you need to
Yes,
convert it to English. So what I will do is I
yes.
will just pass if, sorry, 1 second, if bin Sibishvin, which is actually German. So from
Yes,
this,
and now
I will
I want
just
to convert
delete
it in
this.
English.
Yeah. So I will just remove this from
Mhm.
to. So okay. Now what I will do is I will just
I think you write down in function parameter DE. write down here in en.
Huh?
Translate function, you have provided the parameter
Yeah,
language
yes, yeah, you
text
are right.
and e.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. Thank you. Okay,
Okay.
so this is it. Let's see how it works because I haven't tried it. Let's see. Yeah, it's working
Yes,
fine.
it's working.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So it has that. Maybe it is enough to find what all the languages which is already there. So it's working fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good to know. Thank you, man. Thanks for letting me know that.
Okay.
Yeah, any more questions?
No fear.
I think our chapter lead is already joined. Sundar, you're there, right? Okay, I think he's not there. Cool. Any more questions? And if you ever get into any situations, and you can just directly ask any of your question in these social medias, I'll be available there. And this is the GitHub profile which I was talking about, and I will just show that repository. This is the one I showed.
Divish, I have one question.
Sure.
So we here use two services, being speech and translation. So can we get a trial subscription to use these services?
Can you please ask your question again? There was some noises so
Oh,
that I couldn't hear that again.
okay. So
Yeah.
can we have a Azure trial version and can utilize these APIs?
Yes, of course you can. There are a lot of Azure subscriptions available for free. You can either
Mm-hmm.
go with a Visual Studio subscription, or if I mean, I think if you are trying to attend any of the what to say local groups events, they are providing some Azure subscription for free. So if you attend any Azure events in your location, so just ask the people whoever is organizing the event. They will be able to help you with giving you some free subscriptions. But apart from
Yeah,
that,
I have. Yeah, I have idea. Nitin provided the steps how to create a free subscription. So only my curiosity is, can we have these APIs in that free subscription?
yeah, free subscription you can definitely you can.
Okay, fine,
Yeah,
fine. Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. But to be frank, actually, there are some limitations. Like I was just facing. There are only one free tier you can use, and at that too, you can have 5,000 calls per month to that API. So but for the learning purpose, it is actually more than enough.
Fine. So where we can utilize these APIs, there are some practical scenarios. Can you suggest?
There are a lot of practical scenarios. Let's say you have a data entry applications. What the current world is doing is actually you are just typing everything, right? Instead of typing, you can just create an application which will actually recognize the admin user, and that while talking, it will actually get all the voice information and convert it to a text and save it to a database or anywhere. Right, that is just a common example, but there are a lot of other aspect as well. You can find the logged in user, or you can use for the security purpose, something like that. But for using speech API for security purpose, I wouldn't that agree with that, because people can imitate your sound, right? So for the security purpose, it's not advisable to use that. But again, there are some level of concerns we can go with that. Did I answer your question, buddy?
Okay, fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, it's very useful session, and I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot.
I really appreciate your feedback. I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Any more questions, guys? If you don't have any question, can we stop recording it? Do we have Sundar here or Manish? I think it's time, guys. Thank you so much for spending time for joining this webinar. I really appreciate your time. Have a wonderful weekend. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye
Yeah,
bye. Take
thank you.
care. Thank you.